Another mastermind hit.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Mastamynd here over for Ohio Cannabis Live, and welcome back to another episode of 420 Live Ohio. If you're new to the channel, please go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button right now, and make sure you hit the notification bell for updates. We do appreciate you being here, and we'll start the show in just a second.
Another mastermind hit.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Mastamynd. Welcome back to another episode of 420 Live Ohio. First thing I gotta ask everybody is, what are you medicating on today? Today I started out my day with some drops from Select. I did film a review, so make sure that you hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you can be updated when I update that particular video to the system, to the channel. Now, I want to go over several different things today with you guys, so it won't be a super long video today. The first thing I like to do is get over some news that we've got. So last week we talked a little bit about this, but we know that Buckeye Relief got approved for a license for their own dispensary, so that's exciting. We also know that Fireland Scientific is a lot closer to opening their dispensary now than they were last time I talked about it. So we're still waiting on an open date. We don't have that date yet, but hopefully we'll get it soon. As far as working on patient advocacy things, currently what I'm working on is looking at the type of accommodations that are made for people who are disabled. So this would be people who are wheelchair bound, deaf, blind, or have some other type of physical or mental limitation that makes it difficult for them to actually be able to go to the dispensary. So what I need from my viewers who are in our program in Ohio is I would like to find out, how many handicapped parking spaces are at your dispensary. Do you see any other type of accommodations being made for people that are disabled or handicapped? Because that is something we definitely want to make sure is happening in our dispensaries. Also looking at addressing some other issues with lawmakers. So I will be having another meeting with Juanita Brent. She's one of the Cleveland representatives of the legislative program of Ohio. I don't get all technical with these political things. It's not really my specialty. But I'm trying to work with whoever I can work with to try to improve the program. It is definitely a challenge. The program was written in a way that it didn't anticipate such a rapid growth. We're almost up to 300,000 patients right now, so that definitely has changed things. As you have heard, if you haven't heard, the Board of Pharmacy has decided to extend the amount of licenses allowed in the state from 57 to 130. Most significant changes is that some areas who didn't have any dispensaries will be getting at least one, and some areas that already had just one may be getting two. Notable changes in Cleveland and Columbus and Cincinnati are actually getting quite a few additional dispensaries. You can check out my website or my Facebook to see the map that shows what the update is with all the new licenses that will be available. The other part about that is that it's a lottery system. That means that different companies will have to apply and enter a lottery system in order for them to be able to win a license. So they don't just apply and get a license, they actually have to apply and then win the lottery for the license. Very similar to a drawing out of a hat. So, you know, it's hard to tell who will get a license next. Now, a couple things you should know about the licensing system. Each company, let's use Verdant for an example. Verdant, when it opened, it had 5 dispensaries, and now it only has 1. What has happened is that Verdant was actually owned by HON, H-O-N. I didn't know that until recently, but someone at Verdant Columbus did tell me that. Now, the other 4 locations are being converted to Sunnyside. The reason that they're being converted to Sunnyside is because they were purchased by Cresco, a known cultivator and a multi-state operator in the United States of America with operations in other places in the United States. So Cresco has been here in our program since the beginning as a cultivator, and you know, they already owned another dispensary in Wintersville called the CY. That has also been rebranded to Sunnyside. Sunnyside is their primary dispensary brand. Cresco also has launched another flower product called Supply. So if you see that at Verdant and only at Verdant, that's probably why. Because it's a supply product, it's being supplied to Sunnyside since it's their dispensaries, and you know, so if you get Supply, it is, I heard, pretty good, but it's still just a Cresco product, is what I'm being told. That's just the information I have on it right now. That could be up for interpretation. Something else that I think is a little bit confusing is that Curaleaf and Select is one and the same company. What happened is Ohio Grown Therapies was its own dispensary, but they also had received a cultivator license. Select looks like they've taken over that license, but the products on the jar will say Curaleaf, but in the fine print it says produced by Ohio Grown Therapies. So even though Ohio Grown Therapies, a dispensary, it may be owned by a different entity, the cultivation of the flower, which is labeled as Curaleaf, which is also marked as Ohio Grown Therapies, may be managed and owned and ran by a different LLC. We're still trying to get clarification on that. It still seems rather confusing to me. Something else that I really would like for people to do is I put out a survey, and I'm going to share it here in the comments here. It's a dispensary satisfaction survey of sorts. What I want to know is how you're feeling about the dispensary that you attend on a regular basis, and I want to try to gain some information that I can share with LLC owners, the Board of Pharmacy, and lawmakers to try to address what exactly our patients' needs when it comes to going to these dispensaries. So I want to find out things like what kind of wait times are you experiencing? Do you have curbside? Is there handicap parking? Some people tell me there isn't handicap parking at the dispensary. That could be a problematic issue. So we're trying to work on that and see what we can do to make sure the right accommodations for people who are disabled are there. And also something else I care about is people who don't speak English, who may have a language barrier. And so I feel like there isn't any translation of materials for people who speak Spanish or Arabic or any other languages. So that's something I'd like to see worked on. So hold on for a second here, and I'll be right with you. All right, so the next thing I want to go over is the update on my health. What's happened here is that I had something called portal hypertension, and that's increased pressure on the veins that run through your liver. So I had to have what's called an upper endoscopy scope, where they take a scope and a camera and put it down your throat and look to see if you have any what they call esophageal varices bleeding. And that's just a complication of cirrhosis. I do have cirrhosis, if you didn't know that. I've had it for a long time. And the good news is that they did not find any signs of any internal bleeding at this time, but typically a person with portal hypertension and cirrhosis of the liver usually develops the esophageal varices eventually. So it's almost inevitable that I could develop this bleeding And then that becomes a medical emergency if it does happen, and I would be coughing up blood. It would be a pretty ugly scene. The other thing is that I had a hernia mesh repair in 2019, and I've been experiencing some complications with that hernia mesh repair. So I had met with the surgeons last week, and they had said that, you know, they think they should remove this hernia mesh that I have and put a different one in there. So remove the hernia mesh, put another hernia mesh in there, and fix the hernia all over again, in hopes that this will solve the pain that I've been experiencing. I mean, it's hurt for me to drive, hurt for me to walk, hurt for me to do a lot of things, and my stomach. So that's something that has slowed me down, kind of made it hard for me to make videos. So I've really been doing the best I can to try to keep you guys updated and to keep giving you guys content, but it is getting harder for me because of my physical problems. At the same time, I have some problems with my legs. I have trouble walking. The main thing keeps me going is you guys. So the support from you has helped me carry through and overcome a lot of different challenges I've had with my health. So I again like to thank you guys for all the support you provided me. So the surgery is scheduled for June the 18th, provided I pass through all the pre-admission testing to make sure it's safe enough for me to do it. It is still a high-risk surgery because of me having cirrhosis. The guy that's doing the surgery actually is a doctor who discovered my cirrhosis 9 years ago. Isn't that amazing? So it's good to work with the same doctor that I know cares and is going to take cautions in doing this. And I mean, to be honest with you, I almost died in 2013 because of a complication with my gallbladder surgery, which led to the discovery of my bad liver, which they had to drain the blood off of. But I'm not going to get all gory into that. So that's that. Something else I want to talk about, if you haven't heard, Clutch has released a series of new strains. You can check those out on my website, or you can check it out on their Instagram page. They have all of them there. They have all the information about each strain. It's there for you to look it over so that you can kind of get an idea of what their new strains are. Don't have any idea what their prices are. Don't know when they're going to drop. So we'll start to keep an eye out for that. In other major news, and this is major, is that on June 2nd, the mask mandate and all the health orders are going to be gone. And as of yesterday, the CDC said, if you've been vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask at all. Nowhere. Indoor, outdoor, party, concert, cookout, grocery store, corner store, no masks. So, soon, these could be going away. But what I'd like to know from you, my viewers, is regardless of where you are, whether you're in Ohio or somewhere else, are you still going to wear your mask? I know I am when I go places. How do we know who's been vaccinated and who's not? Oh man, I've been vaccinated. Hockey pot. How do I know? Show me your CDC card. Are you going to do that? Maybe not. So I'm going to keep wearing my mask as long as I possibly can, till I feel comfortable. That doesn't mean you will. We just have to learn to respect people who don't. And, you know, again, we will not know unless they whip out a CDC card if they've been vaccinated or not. So for me, I'm still keep my distance. But what this means for the Ohio cannabis community is that we can maybe start looking at planning some in-person events. I know a lot of people have been on me about that, who would love to do things in person. So that's something to work on. I also want to let you guys know this week's meeting on Saturday is canceled. That's just simply because I'm taking a break. I had a lot going this week, had a lot of meetings with a lot of doctors and people. So I've taken a break, but we'll be back next week. If anyone needs to talk, need me to be there, want to talk to me tonight, just simply send me a message. We'll talk. Not going to be a problem. So, you know, next week the meeting will be back on. We'll be back at it again. Patients only, and then we will still be having our open meeting to the public. Also, there's going to be a webinar about Delta 8 THC, so I will be attending that. So if you want to come check out that meeting, I posted the information for that on my social media. So if you'd like to learn more about Delta 8 THC, there is going to be a webinar. It is put on by the Cleveland School of Cannabis. So that may be something interesting if you're interested in learning more about Delta 8. I'm still testing Delta 8 personally, so I haven't found myself ready to do a video on it yet. But what I am going to do is I'm going to do a review of some Delta 8 THC sauce that I got from a smoke shop. That'll be interesting. And then what I also plan on doing is bringing on a doctor who also is selling CBD-based products and also is selling Delta-8 products too now, who will be able to give us some more additional official information about Delta-8. What I basically know is that Delta-8 is more of a hemp-derived cannabinoid, so it isn't necessarily associated with the kind of materials that we get at the dispensary or through the medical program. It's more of a hemp or CBD-based product. The reason for that is because Delta-8 THC doesn't occur in levels of THC higher than 0.03, which is the threshold for the definition of a cannabis plant being hemp versus it being marijuana or cannabis or illegal unless you're in a medical program. So the questions that we're all kind of struggling with is, how is Delta-8 created? How is it harvested? What type of solvents are involved? And of course, what kind of effects can we expect to have from it? And how do we compare it to Delta-9 THC? So what we're not going to do is we're not going to run around and call it D8, D9. And I just read last night about Delta-810 THC. So that's another thing that's coming that we don't even know about yet, but it'll be a Delta-10 THC craze coming soon, because it also follows the same pattern as Delta-8 by having a very low THC amount under or at 0.03, which would be the minimum to define it as a CBD hemp plant. So again, we got a lot more to learn. Okay, so if you're going to watch the show, please make sure that you keep an open mind. I'm not going to sit up here and tell you I know everything about cannabis. I know everything about Delta-8, Delta-9, Delta-10, terpenes. No, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a medical professional. I am a person. And I'm a disabled person with a traumatic brain injury. So, no, I am not going to sit up here and consider myself to be an expert on these particular topics. But what I am going to try to do is set up a way for us to learn about these topics together. So that's something else we're working on. Another thing that I'm working on, and I'm really excited about this, is I'm working with some of the other patients who meet with me every weekend to do a legal, when I say legal, I mean under Ohio medical marijuana terms, a legal how to make edibles without breaking the program rules. It will be fun. You will still be medicated. It will be simple. Some of the things I can tease to you now that patients are working on are wings. I'm the drink man, if you didn't already know, but I still got some practicing to do. So drinks will be coming. We'll show you how to make some drinks with some of the things that are already in the program. So what we're trying to do is show you how to make things don't require homemade extraction, which the pharmacy board is absolutely against. So that means we're not going to be making butters. There's already enough videos on the internet about how to make a butter. If you want to learn how to make a butter, go look it up on YouTube. There's videos on how to make can of butter. We're not going to do any of those homemade remedies. I'm not against any of those. Have no problem with those, and not shaming anybody that does do that. But what we're doing is things that are related to our program specifically, and these are going to be easy things that you can do without you having to extract anything, without you having to be a master cook, or without you even having to know a whole lot about dosing. But we are going to talk about how to dose your edibles with the things that are in the program. I'll give you an example right now, something that's here. I'm letting it just crack the bottle. I give you credit, Grow Ohio. Your honey jar is pretty damn tough. So, one thing we'll be using, no endorsement at all intended, but we'll be using Grow Ohio honey. I have some grassroots honey that I'll be using, and we'll be making things with that. I'm thinking of trying some olive oil. I mean, we have things out there. We have peanut butter, we have olive oil, we have hot sauce, we got popsicles, we got drive. We got these kind of drops. We got the drops by standard. We got some stuff to experiment with. So we're going to try these things. You're going to see how they work. And the best part about this is it's not going to be a YouTube video. It's not going to be a Facebook video. We're going to be doing this in Zoom in a webinar type environment. We may broadcast it live. We may not. We're still trying to decide if we want to do that or not. Most people are not comfortable being on camera, but we're going to try to teach each other some things. So we're going to do some experiments and see how these things really work in the program and if they really are effective, and hopefully give people some type of recipes that they can do that are easy, safe, and manageable for patients. So that's the goal of it, and to have fun. You know, what do I like to see in the summer? Maybe a barbecue. Patient barbecue. Patient movie night. Patients meet up at the movie theater somewhere. But hopefully, let's just start out with some outdoor events. So hopefully that'll be something we can do. So we'll keep working on that. What y'all having for dinner tonight? I'd love to know what you're having for dinner tonight. For me, I still haven't decided yet. I don't know what I'm going to have for dinner yet. But I thought I'd do the show a little bit different today and just kind of be up on my feet a little bit, because sometimes sitting hurts me more than it helps me. So that's why you see me standing up in my kitchen. And I just want to give you guys a little different setting, you know. Sometimes you get tired of seeing the guy sitting at his desk. You know, it gets boring. And so I just try to make it a little bit different, so you can see a little bit different area. You know, all the filming is done here at my house, aka Real Production Studios. And, you know, I just wanted to change it up a little bit for you guys. But like I said, I think it's important that, you know, we stay focused on what's going on for our program. So what I also did is I emailed the Board of Pharmacy again about the tier system. And I want to know, is it going to happen or not? Or is it going to get dropped or not? I really need to know. And I also want you to know that you can go on my website, OhioCannabisLive.com, and go through the menu at the top on the bottom, and you'll see an option there to email the pharmacy board about the tier system. So if you're watching this video and you are an Ohio medical cannabis or medical marijuana patient and you want the tier system dropped, what you need to do, and I'm calling to action right now, is go to OhioCannabisLive.com. On the main page, scroll down to where you see a button there that says contact, you know, email the pharmacy, and it'll already be set up for you. All you have to do is just type in what you want to say, something simple. When are you going to drop the tier system? Press the send button. That's all you got to do. The more patients they hear from that want this done, the sooner it will get done. If Anthony Rogers sends emails all the time, they'll ignore it. But if they get 10,000 emails, 100 emails, 500 emails, all about the same thing. Why isn't this tier system dropped? Y'all voted to drop it. Y'all said y'all was going to drop it. You told somebody back in March, you know, you was going to do it. You still haven't done it. So now I'm calling you out. When is it going to be done, if ever? How long do we have to wait? We are past 1 year since they had the meeting that approved this particular change, along with changing the daily unit, changing the 90-day limits. All these things supposed to have been adjusted. And because they haven't done it, this is hurting patients, among other things that are concerns. So I will be meeting with Miss Brent again. That's scheduled for May the 24th. And I will be doing another video to update patients about how that meeting went. Like I said, I will create the RSVP for next week's meetings tomorrow. So if you want to register for the meeting next week, you'll be able to do that tomorrow. What I will also be doing is adding a new feature to my website to where you go to events, and if you didn't RSVP and you still want to join the meeting, you'll be able to just press a button and you'll be in the meeting. You'll still have to be let in from the waiting room, but you won't have to necessarily know what the Zoom information is, because we're just going to have a button that you just click, take you right to the meeting, open up your Zoom, and you're in. Make it a little bit simpler for patients so they don't have to worry about RSVP and waiting on the email. I realize that hasn't been the easiest thing for some patients, so that's why I would like to just make it simple and make it just one button, join meeting now. You're in the meeting. I can't make it no easier than that, than making one button. Last thing I want to tell you before I go today is that we do have a new program on the website besides making reviews. If you're finding seeds, don't tell Facebook, put it on our website so that we can make the whole public know what companies have a seed issue. Putting it on Facebook just buries it in a bunch of comments and drama and everything else. I have it set up now where you can report the seeds. It'll show up on the website. It'll be public information. We can all see it. We can all figure out which cultivators are having the seed issue, with what particular strain it is, what harvest it is. That way we can know whether we want that product right now or not. I think that's very important. Some people like getting seeds. Some people don't. I don't like getting seeds. And I'm not a fan of getting seeds. I'm not interested in growing anything right now. So, you know, I think it's important that you help by reporting your seeds. Don't just put it on Facebook. That does nothing. This information we're putting out, we're creating a report that we will be handing to the farmers who's saying, hey, this is an issue. Y'all should be addressing this issue. This is a quality issue. What is the rules around seeds? I bet there is none. There is no compliance rules about seeds in the weed. I bet you there is not one rule for that. And it should be. I mean, when is there a threshold? Somebody tells me they found 20 seeds in a product, they've lost. They didn't get all they're supposed to get. I'm not happy with that. So I'm fighting to get that shit fixed. You hear me? So the only way I'm going to do that is with your help. Don't expect Anthony Wright to do everything by himself. I'm expecting you to send emails. I expect you to get people to come to the meeting. I expect y'all to eventually be helping me do these shows one day. I'm hoping one day that I will have a whole lineup of hosts for 420 Live Ohio. I cannot do all this by myself all the time. I have a lot of health issues, and it's a lot of pressure on me. And what I want to see the community do is get out here. Get out here with me. We are making progress, but it is not happening by myself. I'm not doing it by myself. There are other people helping me. You can help too, even if it's just something simple as filling out the survey I put out, email on the pharmacy board, whatever makes you feel comfortable. I don't want to make you do something you don't feel comfortable doing. I wouldn't do that to myself. I wouldn't do that to you. But there are things that you can do as a patient in this program. And if you're not in this program, you can still learn. And if you're interested in being in the program, we can help you get in the program and help you do it in an efficient and cost-effective way. I realize that there are issues with pricing on products, but we're going to get it fixed. And that's only because you're going to keep helping me drill on them until they fix it. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and close the video saying thanks for being here. Hit the like, subscribe button, and I'll see you guys later. Make sure you watch the reviews. Peace.